As I mentioned to you all at the end of last week, I was traveling to Pickens, South Carolina over the weekend to do what I do from time to time, which is talk to Trump supporters on the ground at Trump rallies. Always a wild experience, but this one even more so, bonkers, terrifying, disturbing, you could describe it as, and we'll get into all of that. Instead of doing what I sometimes do, which is go through these individually in their own segments, we're going to fly through a bunch of the notable moments all in one big segment right now. Minimum commentary, maximum viewing of the interviews. You're going to see a guy making quite the threat if Trump loses. An individual in this first interview I'm going to show you bizarrely disclosing information about his sex life without that being asked, and so many other wild things. So let's dive in. Stick around for every interview because it'll just get more and more bonkers, detached from reality, all of those things. We'll start off with this guy. My hope was to get a sense at this event of what people specifically felt about the Trump indictment now that we have the Trump tape, the audio recording of Trump being caught red-handed, essentially, committing crimes in regard to that Iran document that he's referring to in the audio recording. And as you probably would expect, that still is not swaying Trump supporters, including this guy.
Thoughts on the federal indictment?
My thoughts? Oh, I'm not worried about it.
Not worried, like you don't think he did what he's being accused of?
I mean, what's this indictment being accused of? It's like, they hand out indictments like cookies.
Well, he's only been indicted twice.
I mean, so you have the
Manhattan DA and then the federal.
Oh, that Manhattan DA, what a piece of I mean, a porn star. I mean, hey, look, every rich person's had sex with a porn star.
Party of family values, though, right?
Huh?
Party of family values, right?
I mean, I've had sex with a porn star.
And you would be a good candidate in the party of family values?
You know what? We all make mistakes. Show me a man with no conviction of the past. Show me a man who's never said a cuss word. Show me a man that's never, had perverted thoughts. Show me a man...
Perverted thoughts about their own daughter, like Trump?
I think that was a joke. He said that on The View, and that was on The View. And he said he would like to... He said if he was dating somebody, he would date a woman like his daughter.
And the most recent reporting says that in the White House, he has been overheard fantasizing about having sex with her.
How does that relate what's going on right now?
I just think it's gross.
But you asked me, what do I think about his indictment?
Oh, I know. You just brought up porn stars, so here we are.
Look, we've all looked at porn. We've all,
We're just really going off the rails.
He definitely had the motivation in that interview to disclose information about his own sexual experiences, I guess. Not exactly relating or addressing necessarily the questions that I was asking. Very, very strange. Next interview, one of the things that's super common, and you'll hear this here, you've heard it many times, is when you bring up the Trump indictment, Trump being held legally accountable, always they'll go to, well, what about Hunter Biden? What about Joe Biden? What about Hillary? What about Obama? And so I asked this individual, do you know, number one, what the term whataboutism means, and then kind of want to get a sense of how does that play into your response to my questions about the indictment. I'm referring to this guy here. And of course, a whataboutism is when you're not actually addressing the question, the argument, the point from the other person. You're just trying to talk about something outside of that direct point, which is what about this person, to try to break down in some way or invalidate the other person's argument. It's not actually a correct way to structure your own argument. And this is where that question went.
Arguments, a whataboutism?
No, what is it?
It's a logical fallacy when you try to respond to someone's argument, kind of break down someone's argument by just referencing something else separate from the conversation.
Well, you guys do that all the time. You can't talk to...
That was a whataboutism right there.
No, the point is you can't talk to a liberal.
You're talking to one right now.
Don't be silly.
We'll watch more of this. Priceless. I go, do you know what a whataboutism is? Okay, it's whenever you reference something outside of the direct point being made, the direct argument at hand, to try to invalidate it. Try to say, well, I don't care about the thing you're saying about Trump, the Trump indictment, because what about Hillary? Well, the facts are different, to answer your question, and that on its own doesn't necessarily debunk what is being alleged against Trump himself. Of course, that's obvious. And he instantly goes, well, liberals do that all the time. Well, what about liberals? Classic.
I could wrap you around my finger in 2 seconds. The bottom line is
I don't know what that means.
Okay, what it means is you've been lying so long you don't know how to tell the truth. What it also means is you've staged the entire insanity for so long, you still don't know how to tell the truth. So we're unraveling it. It's like a piece of thread on the sweater.
So do you agree?
Apart and you guys are losing.
Do you agree the Espionage Act outlines certain things you can and can't do with classified material?
Yeah. So why?
And do you agree on an audio? Don't you
doing
agree?
The same thing for Biden.
Because we don't yet have evidence that he did the same things Trump did.
Not only did he do it, he had no authority to do it as vice president.
He
See, Trump
obstructed
could
an
actually
investigation.
Declassify anything he wanted as president, but this piece of dreck can't do anything as vice president. Do you understand?
Let's bring the heat down and just let me ask an honest question. In the recording that's been released now, you can hear Trump saying, "This is still classified. I could have declassified it as president, but I didn't now."
Okay, he didn't know.
Or
And by
didn't-
the way-
no, he did know.
and by the
He
way,
did know.
It doesn't matter. He already talked to the FBI months earlier.
He said, "Give us the documents. Give us the
I'll
documents."
help you. Not a problem. You guys are creating a mountain out of a molehill because you don't want him to run. That's how stupid.
And the normal things we've heard so many times in the past. One other moment from this guy that was just strange.
And the people that are in charge are so evil and so disgusting and so fascist, all of us are vulnerable, including you. If they don't like you, just look at what they're doing to Trump. Just realize that.
But like, I would never hold on to classified documents and then lie to federal authorities and then obstruct an investigation and then conspire with staffers to hide the contents. Right?
Grow up, please. Okay,
Grow up.
That's our priority. Look what.
Grow up, he says. Ugh, classified material. Pfft. Violating the Espionage Act. Pfft. Who cares? And some of these get so much more wild, so prepare yourself. But on that, it's just such a strange talking point. He's coming, or I should say, Trump's being targeted, but he's really standing in between the horrible deep state and us. And that's why if they can go after him, they can go after any of you. Yeah, if you had classified material, you're right. They could go after you, and I'm totally okay with that, as well as me. Then this guy this is what I don't understand, okay? A lot of these individuals are at a Trump rally to support Trump and don't keep up one bit with the accusations against Trump, the news about Trump, nothing. Just complete confusion.
What are your thoughts about the Trump indictment?
It's probably garbage.
Probably garbage?
Yeah.
Did you read it?
No,
Okay. And then what about the audio recording that got released?
probably garbage.
You didn't listen to it? How would
Dude,
you
I
know
don't-
it's garbage if you don't even look into it? Some serious things are being accused here.
Like, tell me what it is. Like, what,
Mishandling and classified documents, holding on to them when he wasn't supposed to have them,
all right.
violating a subpoena, lying to federal authorities, obstructing an investigation, and then conspiring with other staffers to move around documents to keep federal authorities from getting them.
Sounds pretty serious, but doesn't everybody do that?
No, would be the answer to that question. For sure. I don't think I met one person there who had read the indictment. Every one of them had not read the indictment. How could you possibly say this is all a witch hunt? It's all just trying to target Trump and take him down because of how amazingly he's fighting for us. But also, I'm not even exactly sure what is being accused here. It's so bizarre. Then a similar kind of, I don't really care about the facts on it, but regardless, whatever the facts are, I have the same view type sentiment being shared here.
Criminal charges.
On Trump?
Yeah. The charges against Trump.
They've been trying to get him for years. That's the only way they can take him out because people are pretty much behind him, and there's no other way to stop him.
I have to be honest, the indictment, if you read through it, pretty damning, a lot of evidence.
Well, you know what? Maybe. Where's the indictment on Biden with the corrupt?
What if there's like different facts?
I don't really care.
You don't care?
I really don't care. It's bigger than some crappy, lawsuits, and I mean it's obvious. For ever since 2015, they've been out to get him because he's not one of the group. He's not one of the clan. Everybody else, and it's always the same people going after him. If you dig down deep enough, it's the same people going after him.
Did you listen to that audio recording?
Yeah, I did.
Thoughts?
Show me the papers he's showing them. I don't know. Did you see them? There's a recording. There's no video.
there's no video. And that's actually, before we discuss that talking point more, I won't show you all of this individual's conversation, but a talking point I heard multiple times. It's just audio, it's not video.
Well, it's like, why do they have an audio recording? I mean, that's like going back to Superman with, the Olsen as the reporter, carrying a little recorder. Why, they have video. They could have had him on video, but they didn't. It's plus he has the presidential, and
then the thing about the Presidential Records Act, even though that's not what he's being charged for violating. So now any piece of evidence, because it's not the most, most damning that you could possibly imagine type of evidence, which I guess, yeah, if you had video of Trump with a document, Iran, something or another, that would be even more damning. But an audio recording where he's admitting he hadn't declassified a document that he's holding on to, that he's talking about, showing to other people, and testimony from other people in the room saying what they saw with that document, that doesn't matter because they could have had more in a hypothetical situation where they had more. I don't know about that one. Then here, it's really interesting too. I think, David Pakman covers these interviews, as I'm sure you guys know. Many of you found my channel or my interviews through that medium. And one of the things he said last time, it would be really interesting if you got together these Trump supporters to argue about which conspiracy theory they should believe in, because they're all different. With this, it's not, they have audio but not video. It's the audio is not actually there. It doesn't exist, even though we can all listen to it.
Okay, and then one of the big things in the news right now is that tape of Trump caught on recording.
That has been debunked. It doesn't exist. Have you not heard that? That tape does not exist.
I heard it.
It
Is it
doesn't.
a fake AI Trump voice?
It must be, because they tried to produce it and they couldn't produce it because it does not exist.
Even though I listened to it?
It might have been AI. I don't know.
So I accidentally fed her the idea for some reason of, do you believe it's AI? And then now she's like, yeah, it's AI. But her original claim was it doesn't exist. They couldn't produce it. They said they had it, but they didn't. We're all privy to the information, and we can all listen to that audio recording. It doesn't exist. So now she's saying it's AI. But of course, my follow-up is Trump doesn't deny that audio recording is actually of him. Why is that?
It might have been AI. I don't know. But they tried to produce the actual tape. I think there's film, but there's no sound.
When Trump got asked about it, he just said, no, in the recording, he didn't deny that he said all the things in the recording. Why wouldn't he say, that was fake, if it was fake?
No, I'm not in his head.
Okay.
I'm in my own.
True. You are in your head, but I think we can assume that Trump, if the audio recording were to be AI and he never said those things, he would be screaming that from the rooftops. But he's not. He's just saying, no, what you're hearing in there, even though that is me and that is an audio recording that's legit, but it just doesn't mean what you think it means. And he very much is not denying that audio recording is legit, which that happens sometimes too, where Trump won't even go along with the conspiracy theories that his followers believe to defend him. They'll go further than he will to defend himself. It's pretty unbelievable. Then this is the guy making a threat about if Trump doesn't lose. He says, if Trump wins, I guess, he's the guy who can peacefully save our republic. If he loses, then we're going to save our republic, but it's not going to be peaceful.
What?
That man that's talking is the only person alive on this earth that can save this republic peacefully.
Peacefully, okay.
Peacefully.
Right.
Now, if he's not elected, you listen to this, boy. This republic shall survive, regardless of what the hell it takes.
Okay.
Smoke that over in your pipe.
I'm smoking it.
And that was the entire interview. For the sake of time, often I have to show you not the entire interview from every interview. But that was it. We asked if he could do an interview, started recording, and that's all he had to say. Very concerning because he's referring obviously to violence. He's saying Trump could save the republic peacefully if he wins. If not, we're going to take it back by whatever means necessary. And we know what that means. We've seen that in the past with MAGA. Pretty terrifying. Before I show you a couple clips from this last interview we'll look at with the guy who misplaced his shirt, quite the tank top tan going there. Quick shout out to the two viewers of the Luke Beasley Show who came over to the rally. I think one was a journalist covering it and was super awesome to me, and then the other lived in the area and heard I was going to be there, so he hopped over and we got to talk. That was super awesome. And also shout out to the viewer of the show in a very negative sense. This guy was standing up towards the end trying to catch people before they would walk in our direction and tell them, don't interview with him, he's a liberal, don't interview. And that was interesting. So we ended up leaving, but we were going to leave soon anyways. Very, very strange. And here I got away for a second from the subject of the indictment, asked about this guy about woke, and then we'll get back to the indictment.
Do you think wokeness, I hear a lot about wokeness on the right, is that a big problem?
Like being woke, like these woke companies? Yeah, for sure.
And how would you define a woke?
Woke? Like leave the damn kids alone, that's for sure. That pisses me off.
Woke is leave the kids alone?
No. Dude, I didn't want to get into this too deep and stuff like that because I do got to carry on. But basically, just being woke, like you're just shoving crap down our throats. Like you have to do this and you have to do that and you have to obey this and you can't say that because Sally over there is going to get offended. And
you can't read this book, you can't be gay, etc.
Yeah, dude, all sorts of things. And it's annoying. I'm sick of it. I just want people to be happy.
So he sort of missed that I was referencing the fact that if you're saying wokeness means or wokeness is shoving things down people's throats, telling them what they can and can't do and who they can and can't be, that sounds a whole lot like the GOP. Don't read this book, don't be gay, as you heard me say there. And then final thing we'll look at from this guy on the indictment.
With the indictment, have you read it and have you heard the audio recording that's been a big thing in the news?
Really not too much in depth about it, so.
It's a little strange to me. Since it's like such a big thing against him, and he's saying that Biden's weaponizing the government against him, you know? Mm-hmm. So then, wouldn't it be good to know if that's happening or not?
No, yeah, I mean, like it totally is. It's just like with Trump having to go into court on multiple different occasions for like all this stuff that the Bidens are doing. You know what I mean? With Hunter and Joe and all these trades and this secret crap that's going on. You know, and then it's just like it's kind of like, hey, look over here, look at Donald Trump. You know, like we're arresting him and we're doing this and that while they're doing all that crooked stuff.
Some would argue. Do you agree that right now they don't have hard evidence? Otherwise, they would be broadcasting it on Fox News. James Comer admits we don't have the evidence right now, but we think we have the evidence against Biden, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally there.
So then wouldn't it be like, oh, wait, you think the evidence there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this stuff is there. It's one of those things that, like, I feel like they got to, like, put it out in a certain way, like a strategic kind of way. You can't just, like, blast it out there because maybe stuff gets, like, spoiled or some sort. You know, it's just...
Let me put it this.
Spoiled like a movie, and that's why you can't provide evidence for crimes that you're accusing Biden of committing?
Sort, you know, it's just...
Let me put it this way. You agree that I right now can't see the evidence that's being referred to. I can't listen to the recordings that are being alleged.
Yeah, no, I understand in that sense. So
some people would think maybe Trump, we can read the evidence in the indictment, what they're alleging, and then hear the audio, which is one of the pieces of evidence ourselves. We can listen to it. We can't do the same with the Biden stuff, so maybe the Biden stuff is actually Republicans trying to distract from the Trump stuff, no?
Yeah, honestly, dude, I feel like at this point we just don't know until it actually happens.
So there, of course, not that necessarily one is distracting from the other. One is an attempt to distract from the other. But if that is happening, it's much more likely the set of accusations that don't have evidence provided alongside with them are a distraction from the allegations, the criminal accusations that actually have evidence that we can, some of it, access. The audio recording being one of them in the case of Trump. But he sees it flipped, which is very strange. So there it is. As I mentioned to you all late last week, I'm going to make quite the effort in this 2024 presidential election cycle to just do it. Go out there all around, cover these things, because I know how unique and wild this content is, and so why not get a lot of it? So definitely let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, like the video, all those good things on YouTube.